Even if tomorrow Iran and the United States and Israel suddenly announce a ceasefire, even if the Strait of Hormuz fully reopens, the war will not truly be over. Because modern wars are no longer confined to borders, their aftershocks spread through energy markets, food systems, global trade, and even the political instability of states. The history of the global economy shows that the damage caused by war often lasts for years after the fighting stops. After the 1990 Gulf War, it took nearly a decade for Iraq's oil production to return to normal levels. Iraq also continued paying war compensation to Kuwait until 2022. Similarly, the world has not fully recovered from the shock of the Ukraine war. The effects on energy prices, food supply, and inflation continue to impact many countries. Experts say a new conflict involving Iran could spread across the global economy in the same way, step by step. According to analysts, it could trigger at least 4 major economic and political crises. The first shock would hit the energy sector. A significant portion of world's oil and LNG passes through the Strait of Hormuz. Any instability there pushes up oil prices, disrupts LNG markets, and raises shipping costs. But the crisis does not remain limited on one sector. Fertilizer production depends heavily on natural gas. Nearly 30% of the world's ammonia exports and 35% of urea exports come from the Gulf region. If supply is disrupted, fertilizer prices will rise within a few growing seasons. Food production will also be affected. Bread prices in Cairo could increase, rice markets in Dhaka could become unstable, and farmers across Africa may be forced to reduce fertilizer use. The second shock would hit the structure of global trade itself. After Houthi attacks in Yemen in 2023, ships began avoiding the Red Sea route and instead traveled around Africa's Cape of Good Hope. This added both time and cost to global shipping. But even after the security situation partially stabilized, shipping traffic did not fully return to previous routes. The biggest pressure, however, would fall on developing countries. Wealthier nations can absorb crises through subsidies, reserves, and strong currencies. Poorer countries, meanwhile, are often left with only a few painful options: cutting imports, devaluing currencies, and passing inflation costs on to ordinary people. In low-income countries, a large share of household income is spent on food. That means rising food prices quickly become a direct cost of living crisis. And this is where the fourth shock begins: political instability. Rising food prices were one of the major drivers behind the Arab Spring. Economic collapse pushed Sri Lanka toward government breakdown. In Pakistan, soaring energy prices intensified political unrest. Analysts warn that inflation from another war could hit countries where people are already exhausted from years of economic hardship. To address the crisis, experts are proposing 3 major measures. First, regional food and fertilizer reserves for Muslim countries and the global south. Second, a joint insurance mechanism to reduce war-related trade risk. Third, reforms in IMF policy so that war-driven external shocks are not treated simply as economic failures of the affected countries. The reality is this: declaring the end of a war may be easy, but erasing the economic scars it leaves behind is far more difficult. Experts say countries affected by the conflict could face another prolonged period of crisis before returning to normal life.